Hi, I'm Chelsea Gay. For my Curation Project, I'll be discussing the history of credit cards. In the late 1800s, merchants and customers utilized credit coins and charge plates as currency in order to make transactions. This allowed customers to not have to carry around cash to make transactions. Charge plates are small rectangular sheets of metal embossed with a customer's name, city, and state, with a signature attached to a small paper. That's what you see on the screen here. To make a transaction, the receiver would make an imprint of the charge plate on a piece of paper to track the user's information and finalize the purchase. In the early 1900s, gas stations and retailers started to offer their own credit cards. These credit cards were made out of sheet metal, cardboard, or sometimes even paper. Unfortunately, these credit cards were easy to counterfeit. In 1949, Frank McNamara took his client out to dinner at New York's Major Cabin Grill. Unfortunately, he forgot his wallet at home. Luckily, he was able to get a hold of his wife to come help pay the bill. This sparked an idea, though, in Frank's mind. He thought, well, why do I have to carry my cash with me every time I go out to eat? In 1950, he created the Diners Club, which allowed users to visit up to 27 restaurants in New York and charge their bills to their account, and they only had to pay their bills on a monthly basis. In 1958, Bank of America issued the Bank Americard in Fresno, California. In 1966, a group of banks created MasterCharge to compete with Bank of America's Bank Americard. In the year 1973, the modern electronic credit card was created. This new technology allowed for companies to confirm that customers had sufficient funds to cover the cost of the purchase. In the 1970s, there were regulations on interest rates. The Comptroller of the Currency is an independent bureau within the United States government office that regulates national banks. This bureau regulated that interest rates were to be capped between 10 and 20%. In the 1970s, as inflation rose, credit card companies were forced to borrow money at a higher rate than what they could lend out to their customer base. This was a problem. In 1969, an Iowa resident, Fred Fisher, received a credit card offer from First National Bank. Fred ended up using the card but was charged a higher interest rate than what the interest rate cap allowed in Iowa. First National Bank was headquartered in Nebraska and outsourced their higher interest rates to their customers. Fred filed a suit against First National Bank as they were charging a higher interest rate than what his home state of Iowa allowed. The case moved through the court system, and ultimately the Iowa Supreme Court sided with Fred. First National Bank filed an appeal with the United States Supreme Court. Marquette Bank joined First National Bank in their court case with the Supreme Court. On December 18, 1979, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled unanimously in favor of First Bank and Marquette Bank, which removed the interest rate cap. Credit card companies are notorious for charging high interest rates now. They'll even offer 0% APR for new customers to join, but in the fine print of the terms and conditions, it could state that they can raise interest rates at any given time and only give you 15 days notice if you're late on a payment for another competitor's credit card or if they perceive your balances as being too high. The terms and conditions are unclear for the common consumer. In a study from 2019 called Helping Customers to Evaluate Annual Percentage Rates on Credit Cards, it was found that consumers underestimated the cost of the credit card's APRs relative to the market. This has significant costs for people who do not pay off their credit card debt monthly. These customers are referred to as revolvers and are the credit card company's target customer base. Credit card companies can make major profits from accumulated interest charged on the revolver's credit card balance and late fees. Credit cards are more available than they ever have been. Consumers can use credit cards for their advantage to gain cash back, receive travel rewards, or receive miscellaneous perks like free TSA pre-check, or gain access to airport lounges with free food and beverages. Credit cards can also have some nasty side effects. If consumers don't pay off their bill on a monthly basis, they can start to drown in debt, and on top of that, accumulate interest, which just adds on to that debt. There are many benefits and disadvantages of credit cards. Ultimately, it's up to the consumer to educate themselves and use credit cards responsibly so they can benefit from the credit cards and not become a victim. How do you use credit cards?